Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will present research-based strategies for managing an unpopular organizational change within ABC School District. The district is facing significant financial challenges due to decreased state funding and rising operational costs. District leaders must reduce administrative positions, combine grade levels, and increase class sizes while continuing to provide high-quality instruction. Although these changes are necessary, they will likely generate resistance among teachers, administrators, parents, students, and the community. This presentation explains leadership strategies that promote effective communication, stakeholder engagement, staff support, continuous monitoring, and recognition of success throughout the implementation process. ABC School District is experiencing serious financial difficulties that require immediate action. District leaders have determined that reducing administrative positions, consolidating grade levels, and increasing class sizes are necessary to maintain long-term financial stability. Although these decisions may help balance the budget, they also create uncertainty for employees and families. Teachers may feel overwhelmed by larger classes, administrators may worry about job security, and parents may question whether students will continue receiving individualized instruction. Educational leaders must balance financial responsibility with maintaining a positive school culture. Transparent communication, empathy, and careful planning are essential to help stakeholders understand why these decisions are necessary and how the district intends to support everyone during the transition. Organizational change often creates emotional responses before operational challenges appear. Staff members may fear losing their jobs or taking on additional responsibilities. Teachers may become concerned about managing larger classrooms while maintaining student achievement. Parents may question whether their children will continue receiving individualized attention. Students may experience anxiety as they adjust to new teachers, classmates, and classroom expectations. Educational leaders must recognize these emotional reactions as normal. Successful leaders build trust by communicating honestly, listening actively, acknowledging concerns, and involving stakeholders whenever possible. Maintaining empathy throughout the transition helps reduce resistance while strengthening organizational commitment. Communication is one of the most important responsibilities of educational leaders during organizational change. Employees become more resistant when they do not understand why changes are occurring or how decisions were made. Leaders should clearly explain the district's financial challenges and demonstrate how each organizational change supports long-term sustainability. Regular communication through faculty meetings, newsletters, emails, and question and answer sessions helps eliminate rumors and misinformation. Leaders should also provide frequent updates throughout implementation rather than communicating only once. When stakeholders receive honest and consistent information, they are more likely to trust leadership and actively support the change process.
All right, we're going to continue with going through some of those strategies that are going to be very effective as we approach this problem. Our next strategy, it's really important to differentiate communication. While transparency and communication is super important, we want to make sure we're differentiating that communication for each stakeholder group, as it may apply differently to each one. So for teachers, we're going to need to make sure we are communicating instructional expectations. We will provide professional development opportunities and training. And a very important one is the classroom support. When it comes to parents, student achievement, they need to know that their student is coming first, and school safety is a huge piece that we want to make sure we are communicating so that the students and parents know that we are keeping them safe, and academic continuity as well. When we communicate with students, we need to make sure we are age appropriate in our explanations, that it is clear to them and they have a good understanding. We want to make sure that we are reassuring them emotionally and that we're providing positive encouragement. And those outcomes, we're going to have better understanding, increased engagement, and stronger stakeholder support. For the next strategy involving stakeholder involvement, we want to make sure we're engaging stakeholders in this change process. We're going to do that through creating teacher advisory committees, forming collaborative leadership teams, including instructional coaches and department leads, and encouraging shared decision making. When we are making sure we are involving teachers as a part of that decision making process, they're going to feel more valued, and it's going to make the change go a lot smoother. Another strategy, we need to make sure we are also bringing in our stakeholders from different avenues, and we can do that through parent forums where we can communicate and have opportunities for them to provide feedback. Surveys is another great way of communicating so that we can get the feedback and we can see the perspectives of different stakeholders that will help us see where we need to improve and grow. We can hold focus groups, and that will just allow us to collect continuous feedback. It'll allow greater ownership. It'll definitely increase trust as we develop these relationships with our stakeholders. It'll hopefully reduce resistance and build stronger collaboration with all of our stakeholders. Professional development and committee are employee support. We want to support our staff through this change. It's such a huge change, and they need to know that they feel supported as we walk through it. We want to provide continuous professional development, particularly in classroom management, differentiated instruction, especially with the bigger class sizes. That's going to feel a lot different for teachers. And then we want to provide collaborative planning. We want those teachers to be able to get together, who are the experts in their field, so that they can work together to kind of communicate together peer-wise and jump ideas off of each other. We also need to provide additional support through mentoring programs, instructional coaches. Those are great resources to help teachers feel a little bit more supported on a more intimate level, one-on-one, where they maybe feel like they have more support. Wellness resources, mental health is very important, that work-life balance. And then regular administrator check-ins. We want our admin to make sure they are communicating and making sure that these teachers are walking this road and doing okay. This will develop higher confidence, reduce stress, and better instructional quality. Monitoring organizational change through our school climate, the culture and how the school climate could change because of this initiative is huge. We want to make sure we are watching staff morale. We need to make sure we are supporting our people and carrying them through that. Our student well-being matters. We want our attendance. We don't want our attendance to suffer. We want to monitor behavior referrals, obviously academic support, and we can do this through school climate surveys to make sure we're staying up on how everybody is processing the change. Data is very important. Walk through observations, teacher conferences. We want to collect student achievement data and then parent feedback to see how our stakeholders out in the community are responding to this change. And our goal is to use continuous improvement to make informed leadership decisions.
Hello, my name is Nancy Gutierrez, and I'm going to continue with celebrating success. Recognizing accomplishments throughout the change process is essential to maintaining motivation and strengthening school culture. Organizational change can be emotionally demanding, so leaders should intentionally celebrate both small and large successes. Teachers, staff, and students who demonstrate flexibility, collaboration, and innovation should be recognized during the faculty meetings, newsletters, school assembly, and district communication. Public recognition reinforces positive behavior while reminding stakeholders that their contributions are valued. Leaders should also share success stories with parents and community members to build confidence in the district. District's ability to manage change effectively. Celebrating milestones creates optimism, improves morals, and encourages continued commitment to organizational goals. According to Carter's models of change leadership, recognizing short-term wins help sustain momentum and increase the likelihood that long-term organizational improvement will be successfully implemented. Implementing organizational change should follow a structured and intentional process rather than occurring all at once. The first phase involves communicating the reason for change and ensuring stakeholders understand the district's financial challenge and long-term goal. Next, leaders should engage teachers, parents, and community members by inviting participation and gathering feedback before implementing begins. Staff should receive professional development and resources necessary to adapt successfully to new expectations. During implementations, leaders should monitor progress continuously by collecting data relating to the school climate, staff morale, student achievement, and stakeholder satisfaction. Finally, school leaders should evaluate results, make adjustments when necessary, and celebrate accomplishments. Throughout the process, following the clear implementation timeline helps reduce uncertainty, promotes collaboration, and increase the likelihood that organizational change will be both effective and sustainable over the time. Successfully leading organizational change requires more than implementing new policies. Educational leaders must build trust by communicating honestly and consistently throughout the entire process. Stakeholder participation should be encouraged because individuals are more likely to support change in their field and they feel their voice are heard. Professional development and emotional support help teachers develop confidence while adapting to new responsibilities. Leaders should also continuously monitor school climate using surveys, observations, and student performance data to determine whether adjustments are needed. Finally, celebration accomplishment help maintaining motivation and reinforce commitment to the district's goal. Together, this strategy creates an environment where organizational change becomes an opportunity to grow rather than sources of fear resistance. In conclusion, organizational change is one of the greatest challenges educational leaders face. Financial constraints often require difficult decisions, but a strong leadership can minimize negative effects by emphasizing transparency, collaboration, and empathy. Throughout the presentation, we explore research-based strategy to support communication, stakeholders engagement, staff development, continuous monitoring, and recognition of success. These approaches are build trust and encourage commitment among teachers, parents, students, and the community. Most importantly, leaders must remember that every decision should focus on improving student learning and maintaining a positive educational environment. By following these principles, school leaders can successfully guide the organizational through change while preserving a strong and support school culture. This reference supports the research-based strategies presented throughout this presentation. To select sources emphasize effective leadership, stakeholders, engagement, communication, professional development, and organizational change management in educational setting. Using current research and established leaders theory ensures that the proposed recommendations are evidence-based and aligned with the best practice for educational leadership. Thank you for joining us and have a great day.